Good evening, good evening, good evening. We want to thank you again for joining us. This is the first Thursday of the month of April. Oh boy, I tell you, these months are going by so fast, and we want to thank you. Oh, we want to apologize. We want to apologize because some of you may have been tuning in for last month. Last month you were expecting us to be here, but unfortunately we couldn't be here last month. But we are here the month of April, and in the month of April we want to bring this broadcast again. We want to thank those who are our faithful listeners, you and watchers here on this channel. This is the channel, the testimony broadcast, the first Thursday of every month. And I welcome. We have started this program this evening, and the program is talking about taking control. When you hear the word control, sometimes people does not like that word control, but I would like for you to take control. And you say, Bob Patrolman, what are you talking about in terms of taking control? Oh, I know that even through the pandemic, there are a lot of things that got out of control, during the pandemic. And I wanted to apologize because my guest originally this evening having some technical difficulty in terms of Wi-Fi, and she's to join. Would love for her to be here because we are talking, and we're talking. I'm going to bring on so about control. As I said, throughout the pandemic, we've gone through the pandemic for 2 years straight, and people were just doing all kind of things. And one of the things that was even happening, people were eating whatever they want to eat, and things were out of control. And so one of the things that were even out of control was people who are suffering from who are diabetic, and the diabetes was what this disease was out of control for some people. And as you would have heard from our guest this evening, you would have heard from our guest was one of the individuals who's was a diabetic, and the diabetes was out of control. And so the guest that we were planning for this evening, she was sharing some information with me and as she was sharing some information, he said that she went to her doctor. She went to her doctor, and as she went to her doctor, the doctor wanted to give her all these medicine and different things. And she told the doctor that she was not going to take these medicines. She was going to take control of her life. And that's what we are here talking about, taking control of your life this afternoon, because some of you may not be a diabetic. Diabetes may not be a problem that you have, but they are to take control. So this evening we want to find a bit about taking control of what you are intaking, or even when you go to the doctor, you have the chance to take control of your health. You have control. And so there is someone that I want to kind of bring on this evening to help me about this. She is knowledgeable in this area that we wanted to kind of talk about, and she's no stranger to this show. And so I want to bring on Miss Angela at this time to come and dialogue with me here this evening. Miss Angela, thank you for joining us this evening. Unfortunately, our guest originally couldn't be here, and I thank you for stepping in, because you are knowledgeable about this as we talk about control. And Angela, can you tell the listening audience what took place as we talk about control? What took place at this location? If someone is watching this program for the very first time, they can see that we are in a different setting. We're in a different setting this afternoon. And one of the reasons why we are here at this location this evening, it is because of what took place, started on Tuesday night at this very location that we're at, because we are talking about control. So as we talk about control, can you tell the listening audience as we testify and tell them what started here on Tuesday night?
All right. Good evening, everybody. Mm-hmm. This past Tuesday night was one of dynamics, excitement, and exploration, because we had about 40 individuals that came into this place to discover and actually to understand how diabetes reversal can take place.
Wow.
And so the seminar is called Diabetes Reversal Explained. And so we had a doctor here, Dr. Moore. He came in, wow. Dr. David Moore, he came in, and he was our facilitator, our speaker. He was here to share with individuals who wanted to know what it is they can do to change their lifestyle so that they can either eliminate some of their medications or just to feel better with the diabetes that they're dealing with.
Wow. So in other words, Dr. Moore was showing the people how to take control of their life.
How to take control.
How to take control of their life. And did I hear you said you had in this facility about 40 individuals who wanted to take control of their life?
Yes, we had about 40 individuals. This journey started a little bit in January. We began our planning, and we started talking about it. And we were just talking about it as we were going through the community. Then last month, we really hit it hard. We got the flyers. We passed them out to various individuals. We put them in storefronts. We put them in churches, and we didn't even know actually we were putting them in some of the churches, but some of the people, they said they announced this at my church. So got them in churches. We were putting them in their hands. We were putting them, stopping by individuals' homes, putting them in community centers, getting the word out. And the people actually came out, because Mississippi is one of the area that we're living in. Actually, all of the states in the Bible Belt, all the states in the Bible Belt are considered to be high risk for diabetes, high risk for heart attacks, high risk for cholesterol. and blood pressure. And if you think about it, if you know anything about it, some of these illnesses, they're ride or dies. They ride together. If you have diabetes, you may have some high blood pressure, and eventually you may have some heart problems. You may have some cholesterol, and it doesn't across the board all the time like that with diabetes. But typically, if you have one, you're going to have one of the other of these. So if you modify or take control, if you take control of your life, you can modify these outcomes, and then you can have a quantity of life as well as a quality of life.
Wonderful. So as we are talking about, for those of you who are just joining, this is a Bible Patrolman with the Testimony Broadcast, where we share testimonies. And again, I want to apologize because there was someone who was scheduled to be here, but we were having that just spoke to them. They're having technical difficulty with the Wi-Fi where they are located. Unfortunately, they're not able to join us because we are talking about taking control, and this individual took control of their life. And there's Sister Angela, there are individuals who are saying it is impossible to take control of diabetes. Especially, we're not talking about type 1. We want to talk about type 2. So can you tell that listening audience out there, how can they take control of their type 2 diabetes?
All right. So even type 1 can be managed better with lifestyle modifications. So we won't leave type 1 out.
Okay.
So type
I stand to be corrected.
That's all right. It can't be fully cured because type 1 diabetes deals with the body's inability to make enough insulin that's needed to keep homeostasis or keep balance in the body. So type 1, if there's a pancreas, there's usually a pancreas problem because that's where the insulin is coming from. So that usually can be, in some people, it has been able to be rectified, but in the majority, type 1 is something they can't change, but their lifestyle, their eating habits can change. Type 2 is 90%, I want to say probably about 90% lifestyle manageable. Which means what you're eating, what you're doing, if you change those things, the way that you're eating, the way that you're exercising, the way that you're drinking water, the way that you're resting, if you change some of those things, then you can turn your diabetes in a better direction, okay? And a direction even to a point where you may not even have it anymore. But it's all up to the individual, Mark. Control.
So you heard that. So we're talking because I remember on Tuesday night the doctor, as he was saying, Dr. Moore, he was saying to the individual that was at the class that came after because they wanted to take control. They wanted to take control, or some of them wanted to learn so that they can help the family member to take control. And so we had a variety of individuals that was in the audience. But I heard Dr. Moore said something that if you started to take control of your lifestyle, start to matter, then you would have to tell your doctor because you may need to change some of your medicine. Can you elaborate on that?
All right. So yes, once an individual, so when we're saying take control, we're going to just elaborate a little bit about what that is. Taking control, and let's say, for example, right now, maybe you're overeating, you're eating an excessive amounts of food. Maybe right now you're overweight, even maybe getting any full activity. And you decide, okay, I'm going to fix that. I'm going to start walking every day. I'm going to eat more leafy green vegetables. Maybe I'll have a salad 2 or 3 times a week instead of just the lettuce on my hamburger. Or maybe I'm going to actually eat a whole piece of fruit, a fresh piece of fruit versus just a canned fruit. So these are little things that you're you're taking control of. You're resisting to eat some things and choosing to eat something else. So that's the taking control. And so when you begin to do that, when you start to do that, then your numbers, if you're a diabetic, your numbers are going to start to change. They're going to, you'll have better numbers. You'll be going more towards normal. Even if you're pre-diabetic, which sometimes people don't understand, if you're pre-diabetic, some of the damage has already started within your body.
Wow.
So it's good to go on in reverse. So when those changes start, Mark, and you're going to your doctor and they'll see those changes, you may even start to feel a little woozy sometimes. If you're having maybe high blood pressure, you might start to feel woozy because you're taking the medication, and now your life has changed, your body has changed, your chemistry has changed, so you don't need as much medication. But you and your doctor will work that out, because we gave the participants letters to take to their doctors and tell the doctor, I need you to partner with me. I'm making some lifestyle changes. Observe my numbers and adjust my medications as needed. Wow. Because you can end up, I had individuals who made these lifestyle modifications and they started to feel a little different. Some of them were on blood pressure medications and they started to feel a little dizzy. Well, they didn't need as much of the medication. And so when they told their doctor about what they were doing, the doctor reviewed the medication and reduced it, and it balanced out until they got to a point where they didn't have to have it.
Wow, you heard that, folks. You have to take control, and this is what it is. You cannot just let your body go, and you just eat or do or sit around and not exercise. As you heard from Angela, she is sharing with us from her experience with dealing with patients that what you have to take control. And when you take control of your life, they're going to be, so some of you may be on medication, and some of these medication now is not going to be so much needed. And so I was surprised, because I've never been to a seminar where the lecturer or the people who are putting on the seminar actually give a letter to take to your physician.
Yes, and that was actually, that was a first for me as well, when he delivered the package and said, this is what I want for all the participants. So that was like a first for me. And I think that was a first for a lot of the people in the audience, because they were looking at it like, oh, okay. So we tried to tell them, make sure you take this to your doctor and let them know that you want them to partner with you.
Yeah.
Because you still need them.
Yes.
You want them to continue to help guide you through this process. We're not trying to tell anybody, stop your medications. We can't tell you that. We don't want to tell you that, because many are not ready to go that route, to be off of any medication. You need a little help to get to that stage. So you're taking control, doing some things, you're working with your doctor, and the two of you are coming together to say, okay, you're doing so good, you don't need this anymore. That's the point we want you to get to.
Wow. You know, every time I think about this now, man, I wish our other guest was here this evening, because we wanted you to hear a live testimony from someone who took control, and I know that there are several out. Someone can put in the chat that I took control of mine, and my numbers went down. You know, there are several, but I don't know you, and so I knew about this person, and they were willing to come and share, but unfortunately, they are having some technical difficulty, and they are not able to join us this evening. But I thank God for someone who I live with to be able to have the knowledge of able to even share with us what is going on. And as I says, the seminar that is taking place, how long is the seminar going for?
The seminar is 8 weeks long, 8 weeks long, and it's only an hour and a half each night. But here's the
No. Let me put. You said an hour and a half each night. There's 7 days in a week. So
well, let me tell you.
You're telling me that I have to come every night of the week for an hour and a half to learn to take control?
No. It's 7 weeks every Tuesday, one night a week.
Okay.
I'm sorry, for 8 weeks. You're trying to confuse me. It's 8 weeks, one night a week for 1 hour and a half. So we come out every Tuesday for 8 weeks. And this was our first week, so we still got 7 more.
So April 4th was the first night.
Right.
Oh,
right. This
okay.
past Tuesday was the first night. And so we have 7 more to go. And one of that, and you know what else was good?
Wait.
It was a free class.
Oh. She said that you heard that listening, and she said it was a free class. Went free. You say FREE?
Free 99.
Free 99. Free 99. Free 99. That's a good one. That's a good one. And the people can be, because there are people who are serious about taking control. And if you are out there and you want to take control of your life, there are individuals, they are willing to help you. You may not be able to go to this class. You may not be in the area, but if you are in, let me drop this there and we can put it in the chat. If you are in the Columbus, Mississippi area, we want you to come to 219 Maple Street on Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. And you will be able to learn that. Again, let me repeat that address. That is, if you are in the Columbus or you are in anywhere around the surrounding area and you would like to drive to Columbus, Mississippi on Tuesday nights at 6 o'clock, the class starts at 6 and the address is 219 Maple Street, Columbus, Mississippi. Yes. And we will be glad to have you there, because people learn to take control. So Angela, can you kind of walk us through what it's like coming to this class? And from you come through the front door, can you give the listening audience a brief synopsis of what takes place?
All right. So when they came to the door, we registered them. When they came in, we registered them, and then we took them to the back to get a weight measurement and a blood pressure measurement, because each week we want them to be able to see the changes that are taking place. If they're following the challenges that are given, they'll definitely.
You said the regimen.
Yeah. If they follow, then they'll take control. If they take control, then they'll definitely see some modifications, some changes, and there'll be changes for the better. And so when they came in too and sat down, we had our introduction, and then Dr. Moore went right into it. And we had special books that we gave out to the first 14 individuals. Let me tell you all, those books were a hot item.
Really?
Yes, they were so that people said, okay, I'm number 15 or I'm number 40 and I want a book too. How can I get that book? So we're having to read those books so that everybody can have that book. And it gives, it's a very colorful book, cookbook that gives, and I'm not going to tell you the name. I'm not going to tell you the name. Not right now. Anyway, so it's a very colorful cookbook. It gives easy to follow instructions. It taught in the book, one of the things that it has, which we use because part of you asked me to tell you about how it goes.
Yes.
Okay. So after they come in and they sit down and listen to Dr. Moore, then we go to the back in the fellowship hall and we have a food demonstration. I think that's what he wanted me to get to. So we have that food demonstration and then everybody goes home. But at the food demonstration, people were so excited about the pasta salad.
Wow.
Which was in the booklet. It was a pasta wheel that was in the book. And basically it just gave you certain ingredients from each food category, your grains, if you wanted some proteins, if you wanted some fruits in there, some peppers, some beans. It gave you several little things to choose from for the pasta, and you made the base of the pasta. You could have the penne pasta, which is what we used. You can have the rigatoni. We didn't use that one. You could have had the macaroni noodles, whichever one you wanted to use. But the penne noodle had just the right texture for us to be able to get that mwah that we wanted to have.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. We're coming back to that. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, we are asking you that you hit that subscribe button. If you are there on YouTube, subscribe to this channel, because you are the ones that keep this channel kind of going. And so if you are on Facebook, hit the like button, hit that like button, and you can also make sure you hit that notification button, because you want to make sure that you get notification when we are here on this broadcast. And so Sister, hi, let me ask you this question, Angela. Why? Because, yes, I have diabetes. I'm a diabetic, and I have this disease. Why do I need? Because you're messing with me now. Because I do not like anyone messing with my food. So what does the food has to do with me? Why are you messing with my food?
Well, I tell you, food has everything to do with everything that. Allow us to live and have our being. So when we eat, everything that we eat turns into a form of fuel for the body to be able to function. Fuel.
Like what I put in my car.
Well, no, not that.
Okay.
It's like the food keeps our bodies going, and it's really the glucose, a sugar. Everything we eat turns into a form of sugar called glucose. And that glucose is used to keep our hearts beating, to keep our lungs pushing air in and out, to keep our brains functioning. And it comes in different forms. So you have carbohydrates, you have fats, so each of those are turning into something. There's some part of the problem is sometimes we're taking in more fuel than we're using, and it's sticking and staying for later uses. The body is always going to take care of itself. So it says, we're going to hold on to this. We got this extra cheeseburger. The body is sitting there watching TV. They're not using that energy from the cheeseburger. They might get up later. So let's hold on to it. So all of that starts to combine and get on us as fats. And then after a while, we become obese or overweight. And that obesity or that overweight that we have now can be a factor in contributing to the beginning of diabetes. A lot of diabetes changes for the better as individuals lose the weight. So that same glucose I was telling you about, that glucose needs that insulin to partner with it when it goes into the body. The body sends a message to the brain and says, hey, we got a lot of sugar in the system. Send some insulin to take it into the cells. So insulin pairs up with glucose, and it travels through the bloodstream and to get into the cells. But sometimes when it gets to the cell, it uses its key, and the key doesn't work.
Wow.
That's called insulin resistance. Because there's so much fat, so much gunk in the key hole that the insulin's trying to open up and get in. There's so much fat in there that it can do nothing. The insulin can't get in, the food can't get in, and now the body starts to feel those different breakdowns. You start to have deterioration in the eyes because there's no food getting to the eyes now. You start to have tingling in the feet because there's not enough circulation or food getting down to the feet, the tingling in the fingers, and so forth and so on. Those are some of the things that happen when you're having diabetes. But when you start to take control to reverse that, maybe modifying what you're eating, drinking more water, getting more physical activity, even modifying when you eat what you eat.
Wow. So you in the audience, the food plays a very important part in our overall health. And so we have to take control I heard some people making some statement. I'm gonna eat blank blank this till I die. They use all the, they fill in the blank what they're gonna eat. They're gonna eat whatever you want to put in that space until they die. And so I would have wanted to ask them, why would you want to die right now? Because you're calling yourself to, so some people, have the attitude of saying, I'm not going to check out of here until God say fit for me to check out of here. But some of you are speeding up the process. God allowed these things, but you are speeding up. So we are encouraging you in your life. Take control, because only one is only one. But the other thing that more at the class on Tuesday night, there's some people have the attitude, this is me, and I'm going to do what I want to do. But can you elaborate on how he says that would affect your husband or your wife or your mother or your father? Can you?
So no man is an island is a quote that somebody said. I'm not sure who said that, but no man is an island, which means you're not alone. No matter how much you think you're alone, you're not alone. Somebody is going to have to care for you or look after you when things start to happen to you that you no longer have the ability to control.
Have mercy.
So if you're my husband and you decide I'm gonna eat like I want to eat, I'm gonna drink whatever I want to drink and whatever. And so if you decide that, and then the things that you're eating or not doing start to break down your body, start to break down your health, who has to care of you? Do I just, I'm just not gonna pack up my bag and say deuces, I'm out. Good for you. Help yourself.
Not.
No, but some people think that they make these kind of choices and nobody else has to bother. Even when you die, even when you're on your very last, your sick bed, your family has to make these arrangements for you. Your care, hospice care, that's a hard thing for them to do. So no man is an island, and what you do is affecting somebody other than yourself.
So that's why we're encouraging you. Please do not put this stress on another family member. You can do something about it by what? Simply what? Taking control.
But you know what else? There was a lady that gave her testimony. She went through a diabetes program to help her diabetes. She was like 72 years old. And she said that numbers were very high. She had started to have some eye challenges, and she was having to go to the doctor for her eyes on a regular basis. And her cholesterol was high. Her blood pressure was also high. But she started this program, the same kind of program that we're doing here, teaching people how to modify what they're eating, modify how they're living. And she said even in a short period of time, I think it was like 3 months, she started to see changes, and then 6 months, more changes. And before she knew it, then she was not on some of her medication anymore. And then before, the next thing she experienced was, hey, my eyes are working better. I don't have to keep going back to the doctor for this special eye treatment that I was having to have. Some people that came in, they were saying, well, I'm not diabetic. I'm just here to listen and see what people have to say. But after they left, they said, I need to make some changes in my life.
Wonderful.
I can do some of these changes. And so it's not just about being a diabetic. We can all benefit from modifying our lifestyles, whether we're diabetics or not.
Wonderful. And again, I says, if you are in the Columbus, Mississippi area, or you are in the surrounding area close to Columbus, Mississippi, and you would love to come to this class, the class, as she says, is FREE. That word spelled free. The class is free. Not all the time you hear that the class is free. And so if you want to call, this is the number 662-359-3376. Just call that number and says, I would love to be a part of the class if you are in the surrounding area. Or someone may want to get on the train, someone want to drive from out of town to come to the class. And that's up to you. We are not here to turn anyone around, because it is some vital information that is being given here by Dr. Moore for, as it says, for free. I would love for you, by God's grace, I pray that I wouldn't be struck by this disease, or my lovely wife would be struck by the disease. But there are individuals out there. So I can't say personally give you that testimony that you would have heard this afternoon from the young lady. And unfortunately, she's not able to be here with us this evening to give her testimony that the program work. What am I talking about? She took control of her life when the doctor was trying to give her all these medicine. She took control, and as a result of that, her life was better, because she says, and just paraphrasing what she shared with us, is that during COVID, that things went AWOL, in life, and wire, and she went to the doctor, but she went home and she took control of her life, and now today she is a better person. And I want to say to you, you can do the same thing if you are suffering with various illness. My wife normally shares with me and says what 90% of the illness, the sickness, the diseases that are out there can be changed by you taking control of what you digest. If you take control of what you digest, then some of these sickness can be reversed. And that's what we are trying to teach individuals here at this location. We have 7 more classes to go?
7 more classes.
Once a week, Tuesday nights, starting at 6 o'clock.
Right. And I want you to remember, for those that are listening, that the lady, I met a person, and she said, well, I'm too old to start making these changes. But you're never too old. As long as you're still alive, you can start making some changes. And just like you didn't get in the position unless you were born with a pancreatic problem, you didn't become a diabetic overnight. It took time, and it'll take a little time for you to reverse some habits and to make some of these changes. So don't give up on yourself. Inch by inch, as Paula and Curtis, my friends, they say with their class, they say inch by inch, anything is a cinch. So you start little, and as you're starting small, that small becomes something great in your life that will help you to have a quality of life and a quantity of life, to live long and to live strong. So don't be discouraged. If you were in COVID, and a lot of people during the COVID season, they gained a lot of weight. And many of them are now trying to lose that weight. But in the process, not only did they gain a lot of weight, they also picked up a few diseases that they didn't have. One being diabetes, one being maybe high blood pressure, one being high cholesterol. So those things, if you reverse the way that you're eating, you can remedy much of that.
Thank you, Sister Angela, for sharing that with us this evening, because it is very important that we take control of our health. Friends, again, I want you to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, because this is the Bible Patrolman with the Testimony broadcast. We come once a month, the first Thursday of each month. We try to bring you a program where someone is testifying about what God has done for them. And today would be no different if we didn't have some technical difficulty. But we use this opportunity because the person was going to share how God has helped them to take control of their diabetes. and they were able to not go on the medicine. And so that's what we're doing here with the class. We started on this past Tuesday, April 4th, and we are going all the way on into the month of May. We have 7 more classes to go. Again, if you are in the surrounding area of Columbus, Mississippi, the address is 219 Maple Street, Columbus, Mississippi, 39702, and you can come. The class is
Free.
all right. You heard it, and we will be glad to receive it. The number that you can call to register is 662-359-3376, and someone will be glad to take your information. Oh, Sister Angela, I thank you. I want to thank you for enlightening us on some of these wonderful information that the Lord has blessed you with. And so we thank you again for listening. And I pray that if anyone out there is suffering from this disease, that you will ask the Lord to help you to take control. It is not too late for us to take control. Philippians chapter 4 and verse 13, that's one that I ride with. Philippians chapter 4 and verse 13 says what? I can do all things, not some things. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And then after you have done that, and guess what it says in Revelation, this is our text that we use, Revelation chapter 12 and verse 11. And verse 11, it says what? They overcame him by what? The blood of the Lamb, and by what? The word of their testimony. Oh, praise be. So when you take control and you see what God has done, you can't help but what? Tell somebody about what God has done for you. So I pray that you will take control of your life. And after you take control, God will show up and he will do a miraculous thing in your life. And after he does that, then you have to do what? You have to tell somebody what God has done for you. May God bless you, and we look forward to be with you next month. I think it is May 4th. Next month, May